Welcome to this week's Long Story Short, where we will be having a look at Titanfall 2. The video is not necessarily representative of the overall game. It has been handpicked to be more balanced and more action-packed than the average match. I was pleasantly surprised by Titanfall 2, not only in how many times I found myself saying one more match, but also in how well it ran on my Nvidia 670MX, which is pretty close to the minimum you can get it running on. The graphics options are quite nice, however one annoying omission is not being able to turn off the sun glare, which is very noticeable and it will blind you quite often. Unlike the first one, 2 does have a campaign, although it is linear, filled with set pieces, and quite cliched. The highlight of which would probably be the parkour level, which would be the one level where they decide not to hold your hand. Story-wise, it's about a young pilot thrown into the arms of a rebellion, trying to stop an evil empire from using its planet-destroying weapons to crush all resistance. This would be quite an interesting and original story if it wasn't the plot of Star Wars. Balance-wise, it is a bit of a mess. The time to kill is quite low. If someone is behind you, you will likely just die before you have the time to turn around and face them, let alone fire. This means that it's not all about reflexes and aim. Positioning is quite important, and knowing the maps is quite important as well. The matchmaking balance especially is quite problematic in that it doesn't really exist. As a level 1, you will meet level 500 somethings, and they will kill you, and then kill you again, and then kill you again, which can be quite frustrating and may lead you to leave the game. But the game has already covered that, and there's no penalty for leaving a match. Although your teammates might get frustrated playing 4v5 or 3v5. Titanfall 2 does have a progression system, which begs the question, is it grind to win? And to a certain extent, it is. Every weapon unlocks 2 extra attachments and scopes. The attachments are the largest offender here. They give you clear advantages over not having them, with no downsides, extra ammunition, faster reload speed, or charge towards your Titanfall. You also get extra options for your Titan, which a lot of time feel better than the normal one. You actually start with one of the worst option for your Titan, namely that it's better at controlling itself. This means that in Titanfall, transferable skills are less important than in shooters without a progression system, and raw playtime does have a larger advantage than usual simply due to the unlocks. When it comes to matchmaking, this is where some of the worst design decisions have been made. There are about 12 modes for which you can be searching for. This means that the population is heavily fractured, and for some game modes like attrition, bounty hunt, you will find a match in under 30 seconds, whereas other game modes, such as capture the flag, are at times simply dead, with 0 people searching and 0 people in matches. This also is hampering their ability to implement any kind of strong balancing factor based on skill rating in the game. If you would split the 12 match modes into skill rating themselves, you would end up with only a few people per match mode. This can be fixed by simply implementing dedicated servers. All they would have to do is release the software for people to host their own servers, and you would have a dedicated server for bounty or a dedicated server for last time standing, and so on. This would also mean that any fears regarding any potential death spirals or anything of the sort would be alleviated. A good example here would be a game like Day of Infamy. It is a game in beta with under 1,000 players. Should you however start up Day of Infamy, you will instantly find a match simply due to dedicated servers existing. All you would have to do is go into the server browser and pick a server. This is how good dedicated servers are. A lot of the problems of the game stem from compromise. They wanted a progression system, they wanted to reset that progression, with every generation, but then they introduced merits, which override both. They wanted to incentivize anti-Titan builds, but then they introduced the attachment, which gives you Titanfall cooldown simply through killing people with normal weapons. Their first order of business should be finding someone, giving them a crown, the ability to override any compromise idea, and torture chamber privileges.